Good morning, guys. This is Renisha coming to you live from the DFW. I know this is kind of my first video, first introduction, and I'm a little sorry. I am kind of, out about. I'm riding the bike, got my little baby's backpack latched to my bike. But it just hit me that I needed to get on here and I needed to say something now because I'm out here and I'm riding this bike and I'm getting tired. And I was like, man, Renisha, go home. Renisha, you're starting to sweat. Renisha, you need to drink some water. You don't have any. Renisha, you're getting hungry. And I just started to think of the suffering. Like my brain just brought all of the suffering of riding this bike to my brain. And then I started to think, like, if I don't suffer, what's going to happen? If I don't keep pushing, if I do go home, what's going to happen? And then I was just like, stay on the bike. And then I thought more, deeper, and I was like, what's the reason why we suffer? It kind of hit me, and I was like, well, it's hot right now. What about the times I'm watching people riding in their cars and we have AC now? Who suffered without AC in their cars? Who suffered without AC in their homes? A lot of people. And now we have central air and heating, cooling in our homes and in our cars. Somebody had to suffer before us for them to even think that that was a good idea. They made it better for our generation. Now we do have AC, thank God. And I know a lot of you guys know that a lot of people still don't have central air and heat in their cars. So, but this is just the top surface. As my mind began to get deeper and deeper, I started to think, we suffer for the next generation to be better. So, what did you suffer that you need to make for the next generation? Don't let your suffering be in vain. Don't let your child make the same mistakes that you made. What if you don't have children? Okay, you have little cousins, you have other family members, you have, your nieces and nephews. Don't let them make the same mistakes. And when I say make the same mistakes, I mean we can just go from a range of subjects, but let's just start on getting married young, having a baby young with no financial supporting or backing, getting a student loan, choosing a career, how they behave in high school and elementary school and middle school. What did you do? And what are you suffering in? And how can you make that better for your generation, for the next generation? Each one teach one. And that's how we begin to change the world. I can't sit here and be ashamed of my mistake that I'm too ashamed to talk to my daughter about it, so to make sure that she missed that mistake. I want her to miss that mistake. I don't want to look and be like, oh man, I wasn't proactive about the situation. I knew that I suffered in that situation and I wasn't proactive in that situation to change it for my baby. She means the world to me. I don't want to have her suffer the same things that I suffered. What are you doing today to change the suffrage for the next generation? You had a baby at 18, now your baby having a baby at 18. How can you break that? And it's not just about having the baby, because a lot of, back in the day, that's what they used to do. Get married at 12, have a baby by 13. But guess what? They were married and they had their family support, and that's just what people were doing in that time frame. But now people are, in the time frame, you have a baby at 16, your mama can't even afford to help you take care of that child. So we're talking about bringing a life into the world without having any financial backing to help that child develop and grow and not have to suffer. Okay, moving on to the next subject. What about student loans? You get a student loan, or are you going to actually help your child get a student loan? Did you suffer in that? Yeah. Over half of America is suffering because of student debt loan. Paint this picture. You 18, 19, sign up for an $80,000 student loan so you can go to school. When you graduate, are you making $80,000 a year? No. A lot of us are not. We're starting at 27,000, 32,000, 42,000, 60,000. Some of us, you know, do have nice careers annually, but you still negative. You upside down already, and you just started your life. A lot of us had to go back home and move with our parents. How can you change the next generation?